Chris Bell, Real HTV. We tuning in, folks, on the day of the twos. 02 22 2022. Man, that's a lot of twos. But anyways, let's get right to it. Real HTV is a brand new channel to YouTube, brand new page to Instagram and Facebook. And we're going to bring everything fishing as far as freshwater. Me personally, I am a part of a electric only club, and we fish every other Sunday. In between that, I personal fish on my own, and in between that, I'll be giving you guys, tips and tricks that I think help me catch fish, and maybe them can help you catch fish as well. So, like today, for instance, I'm hurt, ouch, but my feelings are hurt even more because here in Virginia, we've had, for like the last 4 days, awesome weather to go fishing. As far as February has to say, it's been in the mid 60s, beautiful, a little windy, but hey, I'll take it. But I fish a right-handed bait caster, so that doesn't work. The only thing I can do is knuckle a spinning reel. And I don't want to fight that. No, I don't want to fight that. So I get to spend more time with you guys. Today, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite baits, jigs. Jigs, jigs, jigs. Behind me, right there, is an aquarium with water. And I want to show you the difference between a jig fresh out of the pack. Now, these are custom jigs, and I have a few that I'm going to throw in the tank as well, that are jigs that you can go to Walmart, Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy, all the places that sell fishing gear. And those ones that come out of the pack are usually around 40 strands or so. These are 88. And I have a guy make them for me. But I feel like a jig is one of the few baits that you can leave completely still, and it still gives you that great subtle action. It's one of my favorite baits. I think between a crankbait and maybe a Cinco, that's probably everybody's, number one fish catcher, but this is right up there with those for me, but I'm going to show you the difference and what these do, the way I fish them, and the way some people just, take it out of the pack, throw a trailer on, flip and pitch, long cast drags on the bottom, whatever you prefer to fish them. And today I got a few tips and tricks, and hopefully they carry on to you and you guys catch more fish. Ooh. Okay, so have some of my favorite colors here. Don't mind my big finger. I always tell people, good job, way to go. But here's some of my favorite colors, and these are some of my go-tos. No matter where I fish, I mostly fish in the States, so no matter where I fish, I'm taking these colors to that body of water, and I feel confident enough one of these are gonna catch a fish. And how we gonna start is, I like to trim up that skirt. I'm gonna cheat today. Normally I'll use some scissors like this when I got both hands, but because I got this super thumb, I'm gonna use some super scissors. So here we go. What I like to do is, especially if you got a jig with as many strands as these, even the ones with half strands, right now these are really long, and when they hit the water, it's going to take a while for those strands, all those strands, to get buoyant. They like to stick together, like clump together. So what I do is I take a little weight off. Just like that. So now when it hits the water, those strands, when it's sitting still, it stays just like that. It puffs out, and it's giving you that action even when you're not moving. So normally in February in Virginia, it's one of our coldest months. Between January and February, especially this date, around the 20s, it's usually 20 degrees. So if you could find a body of water that's not covered in ice, something like this, and taking those strands down where you're not really moving it, and mentally you know it's a fish there, or like some of the electronics I have with live scope, and others may have different. It's Humminbird has some, Lowrance has one. Everybody has a version now, but I have the Garmin version, and you can actually see a fish there. This tip could help you catch more fish, because it helps me catch more fish. When you don't have to move something out of the strike zone, but it's still moving, it's a killer. It helps. And another thing it does too, this is a 1/2 ounce. It takes a big 1/2 ounce jig and makes it a smaller profile. Not all the time, especially when it's really hot and that water gets like 65, 70 degrees. That's when you could throw a Coke bottle with hooks on it. It's going to happen. Those fish are active. They're feeding, and it's going to happen. You can have those bigger profile baits. You can chase for those bigger fish. But when they're skittish around this time, that smaller profile, it helps, and it puts numbers in the boat. And the big fish still bite it too. Don't get me wrong, they still bite it too. But now that I dressed this one up, and I have a few here that aren't dressed to my preferences, I'm gonna throw them in the tank and show you guys what I've been talking about. All right, here we go. I'm getting ready to drop in the one that isn't dressed. So this would be stock, brand new, straight out of the pack. I'm dropping her in. Let it sink to the bottom. You give her a few hops, do what you want to do, and it's doing decent. They frailed out, and I'm gonna shake it a little bit. So if you had some current, you see what that jig is doing. It's frailed out, but most of the strands are stuck together, and it's giving you a little action. It's giving, it's doing exactly what a jig is supposed to do. And then you got your trailer on there, whether you have, what my preference is, a Rage Crawl, Missile D-Bomb, and it's a few others, whatever you like to use. We'll give it some action as well, whether if it's heavily salted, where it will float, or if it's not, just lay flat, whatever. It gives it a little bit more sauce than what it's doing now. But right now, fresh out of the pack, this is not a bad jig. It's exactly what you want, but you would kind of have to move it a little bit faster. Drag it some, pop it, drag it some, pop it, so you can keep them strands separated. All right, I'm taking this one out. To the side. And we are bringing in the one that we have dressed to my specs. So here we go. And you see how this one comes in? It's all sprawled out. All sprawled out. And after, you shake it a few times. Oh, I'm losing it. You shake it a few times, but you see how much more you got on this jig? And if you drag it, pop it, it's just so much more of the strands are getting exposed because they're a little bit lighter. So much more. These are the exact same weight. They're a ½ ounce, same amount of strands, 88. And look how much more the strands are leaving the jig head compared to the first one. So if you had a little bit of current, I'm wiggling it some. Those strands get to moving around good and wiggling. So take that home with you. Try it out. Trim up one of your jigs nice and shorter, than normal out the pack, and go out there and see what type of bites you get. I like to fish all year, and this is one of those tips and tricks that keep me interested all year. All right, guys, it's been real. If you like what you've seen, please like, follow, subscribe. Real Ish TV is on all platforms, and it's spelled exactly the same. Real Ish TV. No funny letters, underscores, anything like that. It's the same on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you like what you see, please give me a shout out. Give me a follow. YouTube, hit that notification bell. Like, you can share those videos as well. Comment, leave me some feedback. Let me know how it did you. And if you don't like it, let me know that too. I'm not above anybody. I'm not a pro. I'm just sharing a tip that you don't see too often, especially on the social media platform. So just sharing a piece of my brain with some of you guys. So hopefully in your local waters, you can get that extra bite, because they definitely pay off for me. It's been real. Tune into my next segment. I'm dropping footage of some way, shape, or form a couple days a week. So if you want to get those, like I said before, please, Real Ish TV is the same on all social media platforms, YouTube, via Facebook, and Instagram. So that's what we'll be. And hope to hear from you guys. Real Ish TV, over and out.